it was suggested for today's program that if you have prayer beads, to bring them, but they're absolutely not necessary. It's just a helpful focus, if you will. If you've never worked with them, you might have. If you came from, say, a Catholic tradition, you might have grown up with the rosary. Prayer beads are used in a similar way, although there's a specific number of beads on the strand. There's 108 beads. And the meditation that we're going to join in with today, it just was sort of amazing to me that as I was receiving this, that we're going to take 108 breaths together, one for each bead. And in that process, we'll be breathing together. We're going to breathe the world. We're going to breathe our brothers and sisters, and we're going to breathe our own hearts into community, into peace, into love and joy. And so the way that you will use the bead is just, the phrase that we'll be using is in two parts. So you will advance one bead for each part of the phrase. And the bead itself is just a focus. You don't have to count. You don't have to keep track. Nothing like that. It's just a tactile tool, I would say, for bringing us into coherence, body and mind, together. And so, what the purpose of this practice is, and in the newsletter, this invitation was for to join us in Peace is an Inside Job. So I know that the condition of my consciousness affects everyone and everything around me. And that's true for each one of us. So at this time in history, we see a vast amount of conflict in the world. Wars and injustice and very painful suffering. And what is mine to do to address the conditions in the world that my brothers and sisters are experiencing? And what I know to be true is that the peace in my own heart touches and affects everyone around me. Not just those people who are in my vicinity, not just those people that I know, but there is only one mind. And so when I hold peace in my mind, in my heart, all are lifted into a place of peace. And so how does that look? How does that look in a practical way? Each of us is asked, what is mine to do? And so some people feel called to march. Some people feel called to write extensive articles and post on social media and communicate their thoughts and opinions, wide and far. None of that is wrong and none of that is bad. However, if we're being called to some kind of an action in the world, in the interest of peace, how do we show up for it? So this practice that we're going to join together in today will establish that vortex of peace within each of our own hearts and minds that we then take with us out into the world, into what other action we may or may not be called to do. So what does it look like? If I'm called to go and join in a march for peace, how do I show up? Do I show up there with a furrowed brow and an angry voice and a stomping foot? Or do I show up with a smile? Do I show up to embrace with love and peace in my heart? Do I show up to dance down the street celebrating peace? Do I let go of the judgment and the vindication and the retribution for what I perceive as opposed to peace? No. I show up complete and wholehearted. I show up as peace. And that looks very different. And it not even called to march. I'm not particularly individually as myself. I am not the sort to go and march. That's not what I do. However, this is what I do. And so if I touch someone in mind and in heart who is then called to march, then it may be that they show up to dance for peace. And so this practice we'll join in together, and I invite you to repeat the phrases out loud. And so this will result here in the sanctuary with a vibration, a murmured prayer. It doesn't have to be loud, and you certainly don't have to be concerned with, keeping the proper cadence or anything. However, my experience is that everything does sort of come into coherence when we pray this way together. And so I'll begin, and you're welcome to join me. If you have prayer beads, you can you can advance one bead for each part of the phrase. And I just want to say a word about this phrase. The phrase was received. I didn't craft this. I didn't sit down to wordsmith it. I didn't read it in a book. It was received. And so I offer it in that spirit. And the phrase is this: I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. And that's the two parts of the phrase. So you'll advance one bead for each part, and I invite you to speak it out loud if you're comfortable. If not, simply repeat it in your heart. So, becoming centered, relaxed and supported in the seat, and becoming fully present. Begin to breathe easily and naturally. Perhaps a little deeper and slower than usual. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. I am home in the heart of God. Peace is my holy name. Namaste. And holding this peace in our hearts, claiming our true name, claiming our true nature, we simply let it be in us. And as we go forward in life, engaged in relationship, in creativity, in community, we let that truth be in us. We let the truth walk in the world as we are. And I simply let God be God in me. Thank you for joining me in that process, in that grounding, in becoming one with the presence. And so how does this knowing, this deep understanding of our true nature, how does it inform and become our presence in the world? How do we be with one another? How do we communicate with each other, knowing the truth of who we are. I'm being told that I can't be heard, so I'll take the microphone. So I talked a little bit earlier about how I think it changes the way we show up in the world when we come forward in peace, when we come forward in love, and when we come forward in truth. It changes everything. Maybe not outwardly. I still get up in the morning, I still make a cup of tea, I still do my spiritual practices. Of course, that's where it begins. But then I walk my dog down the street. In my neighborhood, it's very hilly, and the roads do not have sidewalks, so you're sharing the road with cars that may be coming and going, and the main street that I live on happens to be a street that goes through to the college. So at that particular time in the morning when I'm walking on the street with my dog, there's students wanting to get to school. It's not the main road to the college, but it's a back road that those in the know happen to know about. And so sometimes they're in a hurry getting to class. And I find myself not feeling peaceful when cars are like flying by me at 35 or 40 miles an hour on my little residential 25-mile-an-hour street. And then I noticed what I was noticing, that this joyful, lovely experience that I love going out in the morning early, even when it's really cold, to walk my dog through the neighborhood, that I was losing the joy of that because I was so frustrated with the activity of other people. And so here is what I learned from my practice. There are no others. So I'm sitting here in the sanctuary with my community, my friends, my sisters and brothers, and I recognize the oneness of all of us. I also recognize that each of us shows up as an individualized expression of the one. And lots of those individual expressions are somewhat unconscious of the fact of who and what they are. And so they're not always mindful of me and my dog walking down the street. But an amazing thing happened. Once I recognized my own thinking, my own judgment, my own fear, because all of this, of course, has its roots in fear. And once I recognized that, I made a decision to let go of the judgment and the condemnation and my self-righteous waving my hand telling people to slow down. I decided to let it go. And an amazing thing happened. It's extraordinary. But just about every single person that drives past me now on my morning walks is probably driving somewhere around 25 miles an hour. It's amazing. I never knew I was so powerful. So this is my little real world, boots on the ground experience of how this knowing, how this real understanding, how it changes very practical, dare I say, material experiences in the world. So even speaking metaphysically, we know that there's no there are no others, and everything that appears to be solid and material is simply energy vibrating at a different rate. And the moment that I chose to change how I was showing up and making a conscious decision to be love, to be peace, to not be a traffic cop, to not be angry, to not be fearful, things changed. Like literally. It's extraordinary. That's like the most recent example. However, I have many stories of how other things can change. When I made a decision for life to be different, because the truth is there was a time when I really didn't want to be here anymore. I was convinced that life was all about pain and all about struggle and suffering and fighting, that I had to fight for everything. And I was tired and I didn't want to do it anymore. And so I decided not to. But I failed. And in the failing of that, I spoke with God. And I said, if I'm going to be here, if I'm going to stay here, things are going to have to be different, because I don't want to do this anymore. And then everything changed. And that was more than 20 years ago. But that's what it took for me. I was sort of a slow learner. I was a little slow on the uptake. I didn't get it. I was completely convinced that I was absolutely alone in the world, that I was working without a net. I actually used to say that, and I was proud of it, that I didn't have a safety net, that it was up to me to make it work, because there was no backup plan. And somehow I thought that made me strong. And I thought it made me somehow superior, dare I say. My thought process was very wrapped up in an egoic belief that I was ultimately in charge of everything that happened in my life. And guess what I got to experience in my life? More pain, more struggle, more betrayal, more loss, more fighting. I had to fight for everything. There wasn't a lot of love there. There certainly wasn't peace or anything like it. So when I had that experience, that transformational experience, I had to decide to do everything differently. And the first thing that happened is that I noticed that I couldn't tolerate any kind of negativity whatsoever. I couldn't watch television or listen to commercial radio. Because before that time, I was in the mornings when I was getting ready for work, I was listening to a morning radio comedy duo making fun of everybody and everything, and they were rather scathing about the people that they spoke about, and it was, they got a lot of laughs, but it was very negative. And I recognized that. I didn't see it before, but part of the transformation was starting to notice how raw I was, and I wasn't able to be in the presence of any of that kind of energy anymore. And so then, I found the Center for Spiritual Living, and I was in Santa Rosa at the time. It all happened pretty much immediately, within a couple of years. And a practitioner that I was working with at the Center for Spiritual Living, she was teaching a foundations course, and I was telling her about this fact that I couldn't watch television anymore or listen to the radio. I just couldn't tolerate any of it. And she introduced me to Melissa Felipe. And lots of us know her as the part of the duo of Melissa and Z. Way back then, 20 years ago, she wasn't part of a duo. She had some amazing music that she recorded to CD. And I went home with 2 of her CDs. One of them, the first one was called Chants, Chants, of a Lifetime. And the second one was called Second Chance, Chants. And I would listen to those CDs on a loop. And they were just that. They were chants. And I think that was my first experience of noticing how the repetitive action of a phrase can completely change my own vibration, my own level of consciousness. That's what it took. And then this practitioner, she gave me an assignment. She had me carrying around a notebook, just a little, one of those little spiral, just the little flippy notebooks that you write your grocery list on. And she told me that every time I had a negative, self-deprecating thought, every time I said something in my own mind that was negative to myself, that negative self-talk, I had to stop and write it down. She said, no, you have to do this. You have to take out that notebook and you have to write down exactly what you said to yourself, and don't filter it. Don't filter it. Write down exactly what you said to yourself. And that was difficult because it was pretty ugly. I didn't have any self-love at all. And so writing all that stuff down was not pretty. But it only lasted about 4 days. Because here's what happened. The ego does not like to be recorded. It does not want to be held accountable. So my mind got really, really quiet. And all of that went away. Not completely after 4 days. Some things would still pop up. And I'd whip out my notebook and my mind would get quiet really quickly. So what happens when that happens? You just walk around with a completely silent mind, like a. Oh my goodness! Oh, that's okay. I thought for a minute it was my phone. Okay, so in bringing this all together, what I really hoped to share with you today was the process of that repetitive phrase taking root in your heart and bringing an understanding and an awareness to you that you know who you are and you know your true name. and you are peace, and you are home in the heart of God, and all is well. And as you know this for yourself, you know it for the world, and you begin to see it out picturing in your life and in the lives of those you know and in the lives of those you merely touch in mind. So thank you, and namaste.